Hello, Shining Light. It is Kate Ishana with Sadhana Health and Wellness. I'm doing this video outside because I don't know if you guys hear those roosters, but last night a cow broke into the yard and was mooing under our bedroom window into the moonlight and left a wonderful surprise in the garden. Yeah, country life is very interesting, but I digress. Today's video, we are talking about food, and oh man, I love to eat. And I don't know if you're like me, but when you're stressed, when you're depressed, when you're full of anxiety or you've got something going on and it's taxing your life, your nervous system, your emotions, I eat all the bad things. So we want to be careful when we're doing that because what happens, we end up in a worse place than when we started. We actually exasperate the symptoms that we're already experiencing. So stay tuned while I dive into one of these treats. If you're new to the channel, we talk about all things health and wellness and liberating ourselves from anxiety, depression, and trauma. And today I am talking about what we should and should not eat when we're experiencing high emotions, high stress, and depression. So, you guys, I'm going to tell you, I love this stuff. I love the salty. I love the sweet. I love the cookies. I love the booze. I am a foodie. I can eat anything from almost any culture within reason. There's some things that are just too weird. But anyway, I love to eat. And if you had a chance to, pick up my book, if you already haven't, it is available through Amazon. You've heard me speak about my experiences with corporate America. You guys, I was at my most stressed, and I turned to food to make myself feel better. So, we already know what's happening, all right? When you're in a depressive state, your dopamine and your serotonin is low, and your brain is craving things that are going to make it happy. Every single animal on this planet loves sweets, okay? It makes you high, it feels good, it's tasty, right? Alcohol, we use that to medicate the situations that we're going in, high emotions. We want to dull our senses, and alcohol has a lot of sugar too. It's different, but your body still processes it the same. And the salties, the sweet, the crunchy, the fried, all of those taste so good. But what happens is you eat these foods and you get that rush, and then you crash. So then now you've got these foods in your gut, and your gut biome is like, I want more of that. We need more high. So you start it again, the alcohol, the sugar, the processed foods. You get high, and then you crash. And you get on this endless cycle. And then what happens by the time you come to, your body is no longer your own. At least it's a version of your body that you may not want, which could make you even more depressed. Let me tell you what happens when I don't take care of myself, when I have in the past gone through depressive episodes. When I was at that company, they fed us, I think they fed us just to keep us from complaining. I mean, there were constant parties and socials and ice cream and cookies, cakes, barbecues. We had catered lunches every day. So I started eating like 3 full meals a day. Now I know that doesn't sound like much, but 3 full meals and snacks. I'm talking eggs, pancakes, waffles, sausage, coffee, and more coffee. Then I'd have a full lunch, like a heavy full lunch. Then I would go home and drink because I was stressed out all day and from my commute. And I would eat a full meal. So not only was this taxing taxing my digestive system, I did not need that many calories, so I began to gain weight. Now, I've been in my body long enough to know what weight works for me and how I like to move and how I want to feel in my clothes. And when I began to gain weight and my clothes didn't fit, it did something to me. It lowered my self esteem because I couldn't move the way I was used to. I wasn't as agile, I wasn't as comfortable in my skin. So not only did the weight come, but also the swelling, the inflammation. My hands, my feet, my joints, my face was swollen from all of like the sodium and just like the sitting around. I started having sciatic nerve pain. My joints, like I said, were hurting. And then on top of that, my high blood pressure was so high that not only was I experiencing headaches almost constantly, but if you've had high blood pressure, I don't know if you know about this feeling, but it's the throbbing. Every time your heart beats, the throbbing, the pulsing of the blood through your veins. It happens when you're laying in bed, if you're sitting on the couch, and it's unnerving. And because you shouldn't just feel your body just pulsating. That's not good. That's hypertension. And what hypertension does is stresses you. It gives you strokes, heart disease. It kills you. So that's what happened with me. And I went cold turkey because I was dying. Number one, I didn't want to be on high blood pressure medication for the rest of my life. And number two, I hated what I was turning into and how I felt. And it only took a couple of trips to the hospital to wake me up and say, you know what, you're gonna die if you keep on this path. So I went cold turkey. I cut out all meat, all dairy, all sugar, processed flour, and alcohol. And I pretty much ate fresh fruits and veggies here. I got some cabbage here, eggplant, tomatoes, fruit. I ate very clean, olive oil. And then slowly I introduced fish into my diet so that I would have a protein, but a protein that would give me all of those, like salmon, that would give you all that wonderful fat for your heart and for your mind, your hair, your skin, and your nails. So although this stuff tastes great, it's only temporary. But if you give in to what your brain is telling you, what your gut biome is telling you, you're only going to come out of your situation feeling worse than when you began. Now, one thing about eating like this, you've heard of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the sister science to yoga. And Ayurveda is a way of eating, living, and ingesting food and having patterns that correspond to your constitution. You've heard of these sort of diets where it's like, oh, eat for your blood type or eat for your body type, yada, yada. Well, Ayurveda, it's the same principles, only it's been around for like 1,000 years or so, so they kind of know what they're doing. And the food is not bland. I'm going to tell you that now. Don't think that you have to eat bland, boring food just because you put yourself on an Ayurvedic diet. And it's not necessarily even a diet, it's just a way of living that suits your constitution or your condition, whatever it is that you want to fix. I'm not going to go too deep into Ayurveda. Because it can get really involved. But I will mention the three doshas. Um, the doshas are the three constitutions that correspond with the five elements: air, water, earth, fire, and ether. And depending on which one of these constitutions you fall into, you may fall into both. It would depend on the type of foods that work for you. As much as you love salads, maybe you're not supposed to be eating raw salads. Maybe you're supposed to only be eating cooked foods. As much as you love eating grapes or apples, maybe they are acidic in some sort of way and they don't work for you. So the wonderful thing about Ayurveda is it's sort of a guide to put you on a path towards eating the way you're supposed to for your body. Now, if you're curious or you want to know more about Ayurveda, I do have an ebook, and it is called Feeding Your Dosha to Cure Depression. If you're interested in this free download, the description is in the link is in the description, and you can just go to the website and download that free book. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for depression. It's actually if you're just curious about doshas and Ayurveda, and there's some really good recipes in there and practices on how you can your daily practice. You know, what if you did morning? You know, what kind of yoga may be good for you? Also, there are some quizzes in there so you can actually find out what your dosha is. So, anyhow, getting back to what you should and should not be eating. So, um, even if you don't decide to eat for your dosha, okay, when you know you're going through an episode and you start getting that first inclination towards wanting something that is not good for you. And I'm sorry, at this point, no one is ignorant to know that if you eat fried chicken 5 times a week, you are asking for it. If you're eating pizza, hot dogs, um, French fries, chips, again, beer, chocolate, cookies, fried eggs. I love butter, so I'm not going to even say, I mean, butter, there's nothing wrong with it. Everything in moderation. But you should be eating fresh fruits and vegetables. If you can't get organic, I understand that. What matters is just clean the vegetables very well before you cook them and ingest them. um, fruit is delicious, but it's also sugar, and you can eat too much sugar. Too much fruit is just like any other drug. It's high in sugar, so you want to limit your intake of that. Eat eggs, salmon. If you don't like fish, then try chicken, something that's a little bit lean. Go out and enjoy yourself. Give yourself a cheat day, even if it's once a week, um, where you just go and you splurge on a meal. Have your wine, have your chicken, have pizza, have chicken wings, nachos. I'm honestly just mentioning all the stuff that I like to eat. Fried catfish. Anyway, but eat all of that so that you don't lose your mind, but in moderation. That's my dog. In moderation, you want to make sure that you're eating these type of foods, these high caloric, salty, sodium laced foods that are processed. You want that in limited quantity, and you want in lots of quantity lean meats. Don't eat too much red meat. Red meat is hard to digest, and it taxes the body. Anything that taxes the body through digestion is going to cause mucus. And mucus buildup is, well, besides the fact we all know it's gross, right? But it clogs up your system and your organs, and it clings to your inside. So we want to limit that sort of thing. So I think that's it. Again, if you want to check out that download, just go to the description and I'll have a link for it. And please subscribe to this channel if you have found this video helpful. Please give me a thumbs up and hit the notification bell so you can stay abreast of more videos. I hope you all are having a wonderful spring. Again, we've got wonderful food out there and coming into season. And go out there and learn how to eat properly. And don't listen to those voices and those cravings in your head telling you to self-destruct, telling you to eat things that, after you gain weight or you get sick, it's just going to, excuse me, it's just going to make you feel even worse. Until next time, be happy, be well, and be blessed. Thank you.